So my name is Jasper. I've been in the TikTok shop space for almost 3 years now. Started when the US market kind of launched and really focused on the creator side. So we launched Social Army in the beginning kind of months of TikTok shop. We grew to the biggest creator community in the US. Then we launched Live Academy, which is currently the biggest live streaming creator community. Then we launched Soko, which is currently the biggest creator app. So we kind of have all those three things in our ecosystem. We've helped a lot of brands to scale with creators, through creators. First 1 to 2 years, it was very focused on, okay, how can we give our creators, how can we lend our creators to these brands? And in that, we learned a lot on kind of what is needed to set up a good campaign, how to do everything, and that's also what we're going to go into today. In total, we've done over $500 million with our creators for brands. We have educated over 10,000 creators, so there is a lot of knowledge that we gained from doing that. And yeah, now we're still building in the space. We're growing. Now also working more and more together with Bernardo. So Bernardo can also do the introduction. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
Yes, as Jasper was saying, we're doing a lot of stuff. My name is Bernardo. I've been on this space since 2023. It was when we kind of launched our agents here in the US as well. Since then, we have done a lot of things in the US. We went to Brazil. Now we're number one in Brazil. We're the biggest agency in Brazil since TikTok launched in Brazil. We have an amazing community there that we have built this past year. And we're very excited to kind of like go through with the new stuff on the market, everything that's happening on these new markets, and bring everything to you guys with a lot of knowledge for you guys. But yeah, very
Yep.
excited to be here.
How many creators do you have in Brazil?
Uh, as of right now, through the community, we have over 20,000 creators on the community, and linked through our links, all those tap links, it's over 30,000 already.
Crazy. Yeah, so guys, like they are by far the biggest in Brazil, which is cool to see. The name is Como. So very cool agency, and also like we have had a lot of similar kind of experiences in the markets, and that's what we're also going to bring today because we have a lot of things that we fully agree on and that we're gonna kind of show to you guys as well.
Today's agenda, we kind of like gonna kind of break down on few parts. So we're gonna have 5 parts here. The first part, it's where we kind of show you where the marketing is heading in 2026. The second part, we're gonna go through the problems. Third part, we're gonna do a case study that we have with the solutions. And also on the third part, we're gonna explain you guys how this creator-led business work and how brands doing well on TikTok can keep their best creators, from walking away. So this is something that we're gonna very like talked about. And also on the part four, we're gonna, let's connect. We're gonna kind of hear you guys, all the questions and everything, and then answer you guys on the Q&A for the fifth part.
So very often here you see it in the slide. We send, let's say, 150 creators. They get a sample. They make one video, sometimes two, and then those creators vanish. They're gone. They're nowhere to be found. Brands try to reach out to them again, and they go through this cycle like over and over and over again. So they try to reach out to new creators, get a few samples claimed, they send out the samples, a few videos made, the creators are gone. Sometimes the creator makes a lot of money because they have a viral video. They will stay a little bit longer, but still another brand comes in, they pay them a retainer, and then the creator is gone again. This is something that is very inefficient, costs you a lot of money, a lot of energy, but still a lot of brands think this way. So they are always kind of, when I talk to a brand, they're like, oh yeah, I want to reach out to more creators. I want to get to more creators. Let's use the outreach bot. I want to reach out to thousands of new creators. Oh, my reply rate on the creators is not that high. What can I do? But I think this mindset is very wrong. It's not always about reaching more. It's very often more about how to get your creators close to you, how to even build new creators from the start compared to, okay, just mass outreach samples and then the creators are gone. So I think that's a mindset you have to keep in mind for the rest of the
Yeah, this
webinar.
big problem, I think this problem every brand goes through. It's pretty much like the most common problems with a brand. Most brands, they kind of like know this strategy of doing outreach, but they don't retain the creators. Like they bring the creators, they do a video, and then that's it. They don't kind of retain them on a community. They don't kind of give them a better communication. So that's pretty much like how we see the market going. Everybody on the market is trying to get to these top creators, get to more outreach, but they forget the second, part, that's like the retention. So most of these brands, they need to understand more about the retention than just looking to get more creators and new creators.
Yeah. So I think indeed, and then the second one that kind of builds on the first one is, but is it those numbers that are very good to understand if you work in this space, right? So at the moment in the US, there's 500,000 shops registered on TikTok Shop. Of course, not all the shops are active, but it just kind of gives a number. Then at the moment, there's around, I would say 10,000, maybe a little bit more creators that actually sell. So of course, there's some creators that make like one sale, two sales, but it's like 10,000 creators that are like doing decent GMV. The thing is, if you have so many shops and so many creators, all those shops are trying to reach the same creators. So like since we have been on the creator side so much, it's like we see those inboxes of the creators. We see those TikTok DMs. We see everything. Like those the better creators, let's say the top 1,000 creators, they get 100 to 200 messages a day on the TikTok backend. They get the same amount of emails a day. Their WhatsApp gets so many messages. Like it's so much, and for them, it's just not like worth it to just check all the messages. And if you're just doing outreach and just trying to get them close to you, it doesn't really work. And then even if you have them close to you and they make a video, then there's still this much noise. Like they're getting so many brands, so you have to stand out as a brand to, one, get close to these creators, and then two, to retain them, like Bernardo was just saying. So yeah, it's kind of building on the first problem as well, but this is good for you guys all to kind of have in mind these numbers.
Yes, no, definitely. I feel like you know, everybody now, we see a big problem in US that's not as big as in Brazil. So in Brazil we have way more creators than actual brands, but here in the US we can kind of understand that most of these brands are now getting to the platform, and we don't have creators coming to the platform as brands are. So as we see here, there is 500,000 brands and less than 10,000 creators that actually sells a lot. So for the brands to fight over those things, it's gonna be insane, you know, because most brands, the ones that can actually fight and pay retainers, pay all those things, they're gonna be able to get those creators. But most brands, they are not gonna be able to get those creators because the creators already are selling to some of the brands and already are focused on some of the brands, and they don't want to get out of something that's already working for them to go to the brand. So and this makes even more, you know, like a problem, because it's all about the retention that you get. If you have 10 creators that is doing a lot on your GMV, for like, let's say 10 top creators of your brand already does at 80% of your GMV. You should always focus on retaining those creators instead of trying to get more creators, because we see that the market, there is not enough creators for everybody. So the best thing to retain is, you know, teaching them and going through with them.
So indeed, I think so that we're gonna go to two phases of kind of building out your brand and how this kind of usually works. And both of them are important, and most of the brands use both of them, or at least the successful ones that I have seen, and we're gonna go through some case studies as well. They use two phases. So for phase one usually is, okay, you're starting as a brand and you want to get off the ground. Getting off the ground as a brand is the hardest thing, or let's say off the ground with a new product, or just getting something going. Like we just said, there's so many of these brands reaching out to the same creators. You want to have your way in, so there is different ways that we have seen, and they work. So for example, retainers is a way that we've always seen they work. Retainers with, for example, agencies is also something that works. Also something we do with Soko, of course, is like, okay, as a brand, maybe you have a smaller team or you want to get in contact with your first batch of creators. Doing this yourself can take a lot of time, can be very difficult, can sometimes even almost be impossible to set up well. This is a way where you can fast track this process. In the beginning is, okay, you can rent creators from, let's say, agencies, not even fully renting, it's more like hire them easier, have someone help you kind of get in contact with them, which is the harder part, and then brief them well, make sure they do good GMV for you, or at least kickstart the initial GMV. And we just top creators kind of quicker. So this is phase one, where you can get off the ground. The issue here that we have seen very often though is like, okay, this happens, you do phase one, you get your brand off the ground, or you get things going, but then there's no second phase to it. So yeah, we can go to the second phase, which is the kind of building out your ecosystem internal. So the phase one, renting your creators, getting your brand off the ground, very good way. A lot of the top brands, they've used this to get off the ground, get your first few $100,000 in revenue in. But after that, there always needs to be your own system in-house. And yeah, there's a few levels to this. We mapped out a few here. We're gonna go into every one of these levels a little bit right now, because these are the most important things for you guys also to understand, right? We call it in-house creator program or in-house creator community, however you want to call it. I think every brand right now has something, or at least they try to have something. However, the brands we looked at, and yeah, as I said in the beginning, me and Bernardo, we have gone through, I would say, like 5 or 10 brands in the last like 2-3 weeks, have meetings with them, kind of really get in depth on, okay, what is the current status of the market, right? And we have just seen like everybody thinks they're doing it, but I would say they're doing like 20% of what's possible. And they have like one person that just kind of has as a side job, runs the creator community. They have someone maybe being in contact with the top creators through email. They maybe have some type of small retainer thing going on, but they have nothing really on the level that it needs to be to stand out from the other 500,000 brands and to retain those creators in-house. I would say there's 2 things. One is the current TikTok Shop creators, and the other one is educating new creators. And I would kind of split them up internally, because if you can educate new creators from the start, this is always your long-term, your best way. This is something we can go into at the end, because I know Bernardo in Brazil has also done this a lot, but it's like, if you get those creators from the day one close to you, you help them, you educate them, and they do their first, let's say, few $1,000s in commission with your brand, they're now bind to you. They're not gonna just like jump around and do. They like you. They like your brand. They're emotionally connected, monetarily also connected. So this is a big program. It's harder to set up. It's not something you can set up in like 1 or 2 weeks, but it's a very long-term thing that I would say every brand would need in the next 3 to 6 months, maybe even 12 months. But it's a very important thing.
Jasper, I feel like the phase 1, it's like when we said about rent, it's not even about rent. It's more like a way easier to get into those top creators, and teaching them as well and bring them to your community. So the first step is pretty much like when we say that you should not be like always depending on agencies or community or anything. It's not because we don't want you to work with them. We do want you to work with them, but you always got to understand the second one, that's like owning your own community and bringing those people to it. So most of the people that wants to have a better connection with the brand, they always need a place to have connection, and also a place where they can see growth. So most of these brands, they are just seeing the affiliate as an affiliate, and most of the times the affiliate, there is a way of them growing and not becoming a only affiliate, but also becoming even something more for the brand. So we're gonna go through some of the things that we have done in Brazil as well, like Jasper was saying. But to build this is where it actually is gonna, make sense for you on the long term. Because as of right now, we see most brands on this same problem. They keep doing, a lot of things on the outside of their community, but they don't have nothing inside there that's actually, keep people entertained, keep that retention going on. So this is super important for you and for all brands that's like want to go to the next step and stop renting those creators. They need to start building this. And like Jasper said, this is not something, super easy. We have seen some brands here in the market doing very well, but it's just few of them that's actually understood how they can build their own in-house creator system.
Yeah, and it is possible. Like that's the thing. It is not like a lot of brands. I would say they just don't dedicate enough energy, time, effort to building this in-house, or like work with the right people to get this built out. Because I think every brand can do this. Like the steps are pretty clear. The information is kind of there. I mean, like you can really figure it out. It's just something you have to really dedicate a lot of like energy, time, and also resources to. And it's for sure worth it, because like we have seen so many times, sending out 10,000 samples, paying so many agencies retained. Like there's so many costs that go into like not having this. The opportunity cost is so much more than the cost of building it out. And especially if you look into the next months, years, if you have this community and you launch a new product, you can just use your own community to then get the product off the ground. If you want to do something new, let's say outside of TikTok Shop, or like you want to do, it's all possible when you have this in-house community. And we see all the other platforms coming right now, and having this close core with you is very, very important. So I think we can kind of go through the few kind of pillars of this in-house community here. I would break it down in a few levels, right? So I think one back, but this is one level further. So I think so there's a few levels to this. First of all, you need to have very like kind of logically, you need to build out your community itself. So it's really like just technically, okay, how do you run your community? Of course, there's these platforms. Discord is still the main one that most people use. I would say it's a fine platform. Of course, there's a lot of brands on it. It can be a little bit chaotic, but it's still a good structure. So you need to build this out in a way where when creators come in, they understand, okay, how to now scale with your brand. They need to understand what is my path to the next level, which you see here as one of the points as well. You want to give the creators the feeling like, okay, I come in here, it's very organized. I now know when I'm start working with this brand, like what are my phases I can go through. Usually you can tie this to, for example, GMV that they do with the brand. In the beginning, there's some campaigns you can do with them, maybe some prizes. We've seen all of this going on to get them excited. And then once they hit a certain level, they become top creator, however you want to call it. And now you can give them more benefits. That's kind of a path you want to have very clearly laid out for them so they know what to do. Then I think education, like we talked about, is a huge thing. Helping those, really giving the creators like real value. I think a lot of the brands kind of get caught up in, oh, I send viral videos and I send a brief, and that's kind of my education. Or I send some product information. I think 90% of the brands do this. They just send some information, send some viral videos, send a brief, and think that is enough. Education goes way deeper. Like education goes to like a lot of layers on, okay, really like breaking down content on a deeper level, really making the creators also understand TikTok Shop on a broader level, bringing in guest speakers, bringing in your top creators to speak to your other creators. There's a lot of layers of education, and yeah, we don't have enough time today to go into it, but there's a lot of layers that you can really go into to make the creators feel like, okay, I'm getting value. Like I'm really getting value compared to hosting a call just for yourself as a brand. So, okay, I'm gonna host a call. Oh, we have a new product launch, guys. Here's a new product. Like, it's from your own interest, but you need to host these calls from the interest of the creators. So you have to kind of flip it on its head and say, okay, I'm not gonna do this for myself. Okay, what do I want? No, what does the creator want? Take that first, and then put your own needs second. You can still put them out there, but put them second to what the creator wants. I think that's very, very important. Yeah, and then outreach and like onboarding and management of the creators, huge thing as well. I mean, yeah, we had a call last week with a brand, and they had a lot of top creators, and they said, yeah, we manage them on email. I mean, for me, it's like if you manage your creators on email, you're never gonna build a full relationship.
Yes.
It's so important. It's so important to like build a connection. WhatsApp, iMessage, build a personal relationship with them, not just see them as a marketing machine. Like see them as a person, and like get close to them. Like very close on a relationship level, not just on a business level. So yeah, those are all some points. I'm not sure, Bernardo, if you want to add to that.
No, it's those points is very important. I feel like on the outreach side, it's more we go like it's more depth over the reach, because we gotta go deep on those things, find those creators, and have a place where we can bring them to give them knowledge about the brand itself, and also show them like a whole roadmap on how they can become like top creators through the brand. So it's very important on those educational calls and having those challenges and everything else through the community, because that's how you're gonna keep them entertained. Like Jasper was saying, it's not just coming to a meeting and just say about a new product launch or anything. It's more about show what the creator wants, and make it in an easier way for them to understand that this is a place where they can come, they can learn, they can see the next steps, they can also see the big vision of themselves through the brand. So I feel like there is a lot of things that it's done through the community, and it's got to be done right, because we see many communities today. Oh, I have 4,000 people on my community, I have 3,000 people on my community, but none of those people are actually online and actually inside of the community understanding how it goes. They pretty much just build a Discord group chat and put everybody there, and whenever there's a product launch or there's like some discounts going on, they do it, but that's not how you actually build connection and community.
Yeah, and I think that mindset shift from what do I want to what does the creator want. That is the most important thing, because indeed, like Bernardo said, there's communities that have a few thousand creators because they're a big brand. They send to everyone like, hey, join my Discord. Creator joins the Discord, and there is nothing there. It's like, oh, announcement, new product launch. Oh, we do this. Oh, here, it's creators have it so many times. They lose interest within 1 second. They're gone. They're like, oh, I have 1,000 other of these Discord. Like, I don't care. But you need to like really hook them to like you as a brand in a different way, and think what do they want, and build your whole community and in-house creator program around that. Compared to what do I want as a brand. And then if you do what they want, they will get close to you, and you eventually still get what you want. If you know what I mean. So yeah, I think that's on here. And at the end, we can answer some more questions on these points. These are the most important for your in-house creator program.
Yeah, and this contact that we say, it's very important because sometimes like let's say a top creator is selling for your brand and you don't have that connection, and all of a sudden that creator just stopped promoting for your brand. You just lost one of the top creators for your brand because you didn't have that attention to them. So we really
Yeah.
need to focus on the attention and also bring those people more close to you guys.
And it is the most important thing for you as a brand on TikTok Shop. Like, I mean, if you have 5 top creators, I would say like it's priority one almost of your whole TikTok Shop operation is to get those 5 creators, to keep them very close to you above anything else. Because if they stay close to you, they keep making videos, they like your brand, they are gonna like lift your brand, lift new products, and then from them making good videos, them being able to like get a product off the ground, the rest of the creators come and everything kind of keeps going. If you don't have them, but you focus very much on, oh, how do we do our numbers? How do we do this new product? It's important, yes, but without those creators, you have nothing. So I would say, I would argue that's priority one. Is like those top creators, those creators that are doing well for you, how you manage them. It can never be a third important, oh, like this person is managing the shop, and as an extra they also kind of respond to some creator questions. Now it cannot be the case. Those top creators need a person that's really dedicated to them.
And that's a problem I feel like most brands does. They focus a lot of on the back end operation, and they don't focus on what's the most important thing, that's relationship. So like I feel like the next few months from now on, a lot of things are gonna be automated on those back end parts, and the brands, they need to understand that they should focus more on relationship and actually connection than focus on having a big team on the back end doing a lot of stuff. It's more of like implementing those stuff through automations and AI, since we're seeing a bunch of stuff. Even TikTok now, it has launched some stuff that you can connect the API there through to help you guys as a brand. So as we're seeing, it's more like you guys as brands, you guys should focus more on it's like 80% focus on relationships and creatives than actual focus the 80% on the back end part.
I agree. I mean, this is what we always also already talked about. I think this is one layer deeper, but it's something that I know Como is doing a lot. I know we are doing it now with like Social Commerce Fest and everything in the US, also way more. But it's like the events, the in-person activations. It's even a layer deeper than, okay, you have your top creators, you communicate well with them. What is the next step? The next step is, okay, host meetups, host events, host these small kind of brand trips that we are seeing more and more. Like all the top brands, they're already doing it. So if you're not doing this, you're probably already kind of behind. Of course, the market, it's still years to go, so it's not that you're crazy behind, but it's already happening. So on the relationship level, it's not just, okay, level one, which most brands are already not doing, is like a lot of personal relationships, a lot of kind of connection with the creators, a very good onboarding, a very nice, giving them a lot of value and everything, and value, like we said, going way deeper than what most of you probably are doing. After that, there's still a level deeper, which is, okay, brand trips, how are we going to get this creators even closer to us? It's in person, doing something very fun with them, doing something that they remember for months, that they talk about for months, which is, yeah, events, in-person activations, and even deepening that bond deeper.
Yeah, no, this is something that I can talk a little bit about on the Brazil side. I feel like the Brazil side has already, had more, like a connection through the creators, and now they're doing way more activations. We see that this is working a lot on the market because that's where you actually build the community. Of course, we can have the community, online and everything, but those connections, and we just was talking to a brand like few days ago, and one of the brands said that once they start like going to these events, doing activations for the creators, they start seeing way more like connection, and now the creator wants to be part of the brand, wants to be part of the community. So it's a real bond that you do with your top creators by doing those activations. It doesn't need to be something crazy at the beginning, but the more you put out there, as incentives, and these activations on in person, is gonna be amazing for you guys to build this whole ecosystem.
Yeah, no, agreed. And then here's one more point, like recruit them from day zero. So like if you get creators in, and this is something I've been hearing more and more from different brands, the creators you build from day one, they're the ones that stake. the creators that are already big and you get them to make 1 video or 5 videos for you, yes, it can be a nice boost on GMV, but they will always jump around, go to other brands, because they have had the experience of other brands, they have made money with other brands. Your brand is not special to them. If you are the first brand they promote, if you're the first brand that makes them a lot of money, you're special to them. They will always have you high, and that's something that's like, you preferably want to build at least like 50%, but a decent amount of your top creators in like the next 6 to 12 months want to come from your own internal kind of operations, compared to, okay, they were already big, now they join, but then again, they leave. So good to keep that in mind too.
Yes, this is something very important because we have done this, you know, and I feel like everybody that was kind of like growing together as a creator in a brand, they stuck with the brand because they seen it, you know, like everything. They also have that connection with the brand. So they're not going to stop, like, you know, like they're not going to start like jumping, you know, brand to brand, because now they were born here pretty much. And now they, you know, you guys have this good relationship with them. The more we give out to the creators in terms of like stopping, taking a look at them and seeing, oh, this is just an affiliate, and see more of them as partners, that's the better way of like approaching and managing that relationship. We do have the proof, right, Jasper, of the 2 phases.
So 2 phases, like we discussed. First one is rent, which is an amazing way to get things off the ground, get things moving quick. Because the second phase, like we just discussed, it takes time, right? You cannot expect it to be done within a day or a week, whatever. The renting is something that I would advise a lot of brands to do. I've seen it, many good case studies of it, to get off the ground. Because if you're a brand with no sales, nothing going on, like, you're nothing to creators. You're never going to get them excited. It's very hard. Even, okay, if you have a very big creator pool outside of TikTok Shop, yes, pull them in. There's something you can do. But if you just knew, like, you want to get off the ground, because once you hit your first GMV numbers and everything else gets easier. So, and that's also on a product level. That's also if you're already having a certain operation, but you have nothing really like in place, or you want to get to the next level. That first phase can give that kickstart, that boost, and like get things going without needing a lot of manpower, resources, everything to get it on board, because you can kind of just outsource it. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is the owning, like we just discussed, making your own in-house ecosystem. And that's the case study from Brazil, very cool one that we can go through, which is kind of not even phase 2, but I would say almost phase 3, where those creators then become kind of something for the brand. But we will show that in a bit. So phase 1, I think most of you have seen Dr. Dent. Most of you know about their launch and everything else. With Dr. Dent, in the beginning, we did a campaign. They launched in the US. They were already decently big in the UK, and they wanted to grow. But in a competitive market, nobody knew them. How are they gonna go big? They came to us. They were like, hey, what can we do? On Soko, we have retainer campaigns by which we have these 15,000 creators that are on the app. We can pick the best ones, get them in contact with your brand very easily without you having to send all these messages, do all this management. We take over the management and just get going very quickly. So what you see here is, okay, they wanted to go quick, build the trust they can build through us as Soko, and kind of get going. So you can go to the next slide, and then we can. So here what we did, the solution, the creators came in, they reached out, or we launched the campaign together with Dr. Dent. Creators applied to it, we kind of manage them in our own kind of channel on Discord, get them all going, get briefs, get incentives, get everything kind of ready, together with the brand, decide which creators fit the brand the best, and from there launched the campaign. The next one. What happened is, this is of course an amazing result. It's not every brand, but you can kind of see. They launched, we did multiple campaigns, and very quickly there's a very big impact for the brand itself. Right now, Dr. Dent, I think all of you know them. They're doing like 2 to 3 million a month on TikTok Shop in the US, which is amazing. But in this initial stage, we posted over 300 videos for them from high quality creators. 20 creators collaborated, a few creators doing over 100K in GMV, which is just amazing to see. And that again shows that this beginning phase to get off the ground, a retaining campaign can really work very well, because you're not that much. You can take our trust, the creators want to already work with us, get them going for your brand, and kind of get things off the ground. So this is phase 0, phase 1. Dr. Dent also, after that, they did a good in-house creator system, so they also were able to kind of keep this growth going by having their own in-house system. So this is the first campaign. I think it's just good to wrap your head around. I hope it makes sense for everyone, kind of how we're thinking here with phase 1, phase 2, how to get going, do this kickstart. Cost, it depends. So we usually do campaigns of like 10 to 20K in retainers kind of spent to the creators. We would always say you want to have at least a decent amount of budget. Otherwise, yeah, you never know. One single creator will not always have a 100% chance of hitting it. If you take 20 creators, you spread that out, and then the chance of it working is way higher. But we can talk a little bit more about like the campaigns itself. Yeah, here we spent I think like around like 100K in total to do like almost 1 million. But yeah, it depends on the brand, depends on how big you want to go. But usually we would say start with like 10 to 20K to get going. And then this is the second one. Do you want to dive into this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So most of the brands, and we've seen this, on most of the markets, it's this new way of business, right? The creator-led business. So the creator-led business is pretty much, a kind of like a creator that becomes, like he's an affiliate, and then he starts like developing himself on the sales part. He knows already how to sell, and now he becomes something bigger inside of the brand, and he can even be face of these brands and be an ambassador. So on this whole ecosystem of creator-led business, it's a big way, but now creators, they understand how they can partner up with brands, and brands on how can partner up with creators and go from affiliate to an actual creator. So on this here, we can kind of show why brands should build their own creator army. One, we said stop about renting the influence and build a system that actually produce for yourself. Like Jasper said, every brand, when they're like on the cold start, it's always very nice for them to go to a place where these top creators are gonna be there. So that's so cool, where we do the campaigns and then we bring the top creators for you. You do a campaign there, we bring results, and we start like going. And the second phase, that's like the creator-led business phase. It's where we start building the community, build a sales machine at the same time as you grow the awareness and the branding on the long term. So we kind of stop building brands that people only consume, and also start building brands that they actually want to be part of it. And we're seeing this every day. Like every day, people, they want to become some part of something. They want to become something there. So we've seen this with run clubs that's going crazy right now in the US, on all the places. People right now, like nowadays, they need that connection. They don't have that connection anymore. So they want to become part of something. And the fourth one, it would be a superficial relationship, for loyalty and exclusivity. So most brands right now, as we see, they are like more connected to the actual creator. So that creator can even be part of something. We have a very nice case in Brazil for the brand Mac, that they kind of built a whole listing to the creator because the creator was kind of becoming the face of the brand. So it was very nice to see these big brands, enterprise brands, already doing like $1 billion, going and doing this on TikTok Shop in Brazil. So it was very nice to see how the market is understanding this, and I feel like the US, we're still a little behind it, but that's what we're here for, to bring you guys like what's actually working and what's the actual matter of having this community and having these connections. So like I was saying, the biggest brands already understood the game. In Brazil, Yves Saint Laurent just launched a campaign on TikTok Shop. Now they kind of like chose their creators, and 80% of those creators came from Comu, or agency in Brazil. And here we show them like how these big brands already understood the game of awareness and understood the game of connection, and now they're building this in-house as a community in-house for their brand. So it's not only regular creators, like creators that only post on TikTok, but now in Brazil, what we did was building these creators from the ground and showing them how they can connect with the brand through other social medias to also become something there. So as you guys can see here, there's 4 Instagram accounts, and all these creators, they come from the agency, and we taught them very well on how they need to position themselves with the brand and bring that awareness to the brand. And those creators were the ones chosen for the brand to do this campaign. As you guys can see here, that way the creator have a 360. They can sell, but they also can bring awareness, like I was saying, strengthen their branding on multiple platforms and multiple types of content as well. So we see that this is going very nice in Brazil. I feel like these enterprise brands, they are already understanding. Not that they're understanding, but we are coming with them as well, and I actually like showing them what they should do, and it's working very well. But there is a catch here, like every process there is. These creators, they were never like born as influencers. They were born on TikTok Shop, and now they're becoming something big. So like I was telling you guys, we kind of taught them on how to position themselves, and on that way, these big brands, they saw them because they were already like positioned on the other platforms as well. So we don't want only the creators to become an affiliate and sell for the brand, but we also want them to become part and also become some keys, some faces of the brand as well. So this is pretty much what we want to do. And now we want to help you guys do that here in the US. If you guys want to connect with us, we can connect. We have this QR code here. You guys can watch it and contact us so we can give like a whole analysis as well.
Yeah, so I think a few things to add on the creators you were just showing is like what we're just saying is right now what we're seeing more and more happening is that these creators also go from TikTok Shop to the other platforms. And like Bernardo was saying, in Brazil this is even quicker, but these are the creators that are very close to the brand. So that means, okay, these top creators, the brand has an amazing relationship with them. Then you build out bigger partnerships than just TikTok Shop or just like making a video for your brand, right? So I would say like there's all these phases that you kind of go through as a brand, and in the beginning you want to get off the ground, like we just said. Okay, there's for example retainers, other things to get your brand going to become interesting for creators. Then creators more and more they come to you. You have this in-house creator system that you build out to keep them close, to keep them very engaged, and then you build this relationship with your top creators, and then you can do more and more with them. We see other things right now as well, as like where there's products being launched on TikTok Shop that are with the creator's face on it, right? Like the packaging, or like there's products where the creator is getting royalty. Like we have multiple creators now in our community too that are developing a product together with the brand where they now get royalty on TikTok Shop, but also Amazon and Shopify, everything like besides that, because they're such a close relationship. So I think that is very good to understand. So also Katie, like in the beginning it's TikTok Shop videos, and then later they go to even bigger campaigns, and then they do these other photo shoots, pictures, campaigns, which is outside of TikTok Shop. So you can call it technically UGC, but yeah, usually it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's I think good to understand. So there's all these different phases. I would say this is phase 3. So phase 1, get your creators going, do your retainer campaigns, get your brand off the ground, which is indeed like pretty hard if you don't know how to do it. So there's fast tracks like retainers to get it off the ground. Then phase 2 is, okay, you have to build something in-house as well to build those relationships even deeper. And then phase 3 is, okay, once you have these relationships, you can even go bigger than just TikTok Shop or just like getting your videos out on TikTok Shop. So, and this is something that every brand is going to go through in the next like 1 to 5 years, if they like it or not. Like they have to do it. So some brands, most of you, if you're already here, you're probably early. So you're already focusing on it, which is amazing. Like I think you're ahead of 99%. Even every brand on TikTok Shop is already ahead of the curve, but on TikTok Shop there's also already differences, and we want to make sure you guys are also kind of on top of everything and making sure you build out everything how you want to do it. I also saw a question of Alexis. Brand doesn't see ROI after the first month. Yeah, so I just answered it in the chat. Is like it's not always ROI based, right? So also with the retainer, for example, if you want to get off the ground, like I think a lot of brands are still seeing TikTok Shop a lot as, okay, I spend this and I want this back. But there's such a bigger kind of picture here, like we were just discussing, is if you get off the ground, if you get your creators close to you, there's so much that comes after that. Also, your investment in your creator community, it's going to take a lot of time to make your money back, let's say. But it's so much worth it in the next like year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, if you build it early on. So kind of, I wouldn't say a lot in the social commerce space. It's yes, it's nice to do kind of short-term GMV and everything, but it's way more about figuring out your ways of working to then have a long-term kind of roadmap and plan ready to get your ROI down the road. And now you already see like brands like, I would say like a Comfort, they started early directly with like an amazing community and everything. They're doing very good, and they can take their creators again from TikTok Shop to the other platforms, and they just kind of keep building right now. And that community they built, yes, they invested time, energy, effort into it, but it's worth for them. Like I would say that community is worth millions for them, because now they can use that for everything they do, every new product they launch, everything else. So look at it like that. Of course, ROI is nice, but I would take it a little bit broader than that. And also, a lot of things take longer, right? On TikTok Shop, you see a lot of videos like from a month ago, 2 months ago, still working. And And in TikTok Shop, it's also a lot of like figuring out angles. So sometimes you invest to figure out figure out what are the creators you want to work with, figure out angles that will work, and then one thing clicks, and then it starts blowing up. And it can be one video of one creator that kind of has an angle that now just works. Everybody starts copying it, and then that one video is worth so much, but you never know when the video is going to come or what you need to get there. So that is a little bit the game. But yeah, you can scroll to the connect. So what we do is, Bernardo and me, we also partnered up here in the US because we saw kind of, okay, the brands need also some of the support with kind of getting this whole thing set up, getting your, one is of course the retainers, and then two is getting your whole in-house creator community kind of going. So we have been helping some brands like in the last few weeks, and we are seeing a big need here. So yeah, if you were interested to kind of get some small analysis, it's just a free call. We can kind of go through it, see where you're at right now, and if it makes sense. Again, we'd love to help for free. Of course, this webinar, all the information is just for you. But if you're also looking to maybe get it done quicker, or like with our team, that's possible. And the same with the retainers. Like we have the whole program there. We have all the 15,000 creators on the app that want to work. If you're a brand and you want to get things off the ground, you want to get this kickstart or this kind of boost, we'd love to help you guys out as well. Or you can talk to the team and we can kind of see how that can look like. But both of the phases are important and I think very interesting for a lot of brands right now on TikTok Shop. So yeah, Q&A.
Q&A time.
We already answered some questions in the chat, but if you guys have any other questions on the creator side, please let us know, or on everything we talked about. It's a very new industry. I think they're always together, phase 1 and phase 2 Epic. It's like they are not like, okay, move from phase 1 to phase 2. I would say phase 1 is like that kickstart in ignition, the kind of getting things going. And while you do that, you still have to build your in-house community. Like phase 2 is something that starts working later. So that's why we call it phase 2. But you need to start it now because it takes time. It takes 1 month, 2 months.
The more time you're gonna take to actually see results. That's why I feel like most brands, they didn't do the second phase and they just start like seeing results from the phase 1, and that's where like they kept stuck now after a few months, because the more like they try to partner it up with these communities and everything, it's always good and they bring results, but there is going to be a time where there is not going to be more communities partnered up, and then if you didn't do your work that's doing the phase 2, that's actually building a place where you can bring them, you can teach them, and you can keep them like entertained and more like as a partner of your brand, it's going to be very hard for you to have results. So you guys should start this like as today, like today you guys should focus on bringing this side of community, on bringing this side of like connection to the creators, because the brand always gonna need this. So this is together with the phase 1. If you want to have a fast track, you can go with phase 1, but always be building the phase 2 as we go.
Yeah, I think that they're very much in balance, right? Because one, you get more creators in. It's the same as like an outreach bot, or you can just like, one is like you need like kickstarting or blowing some like air to the fire just to get it going more. It can all in every phase of your business, it can make sense to do some retainers to get some things in. But the phase 2, I would say maybe it's even phase 0, because it's like the foundation. You need it there, like you need it there all the time. So yeah, it goes very much hand in hand. It's not one or the other, or okay, we go from one to the other. But it's very much you needed both to kind of get things going. And again, we've talked to so many brands. I was thinking everybody was already way more ahead, but it's not really the case. Following up, is it possible to run phase 2 in-house? What are the benefits of working with an external partner? Yeah, a good question. No, so phase 2, like how we see it, is you have to have it in-house. Like we would never, like I would say, I've heard a lot. We had a talk with a brand yesterday actually, and they were saying like, yeah, our affiliate community is managed by our partner, and we don't have access to it. I was like, okay, so you have your own in-house creator community, but it's not yours. As a brand, you need to own this, and that's also, for example, if we ever work with a brand for this part, phase 2, we never would say, okay, we build it for you, we do everything. It's in combination with, and whenever we leave, it's like, okay, you guys have it. Like, please, you have to have it in-house because it breeds your brand. Your brand has a vision. Your brand has a feeling. You want to give it also to the creator. So you need to have it in-house. I would say like an external partner, you can get something to kind of get it going in the beginning, but you need to always keep it with you. That's also our vision and how we always would work with partners.
Yeah, there's another one about the retail price. It does matter. I feel like brands on TikTok Shop, they need to understand about pricing. Also, as a brand, you guys need to understand that TikTok is a channel where it's not gonna give you the best profit, but it's gonna give you the awareness and it's gonna bring more people to your brand. And that's where like brands see as well about the halo effect on all these people that saw the product or the brand on TikTok Shop now going to Amazon, going to Shopify, going to all those other places. But it does matter because you really need to see, your competitors, see if they're doing a good pricing. And TikTok is always about pricing, right? Like it's always about, discounts. It's always about coupons. So it does matter if you don't align like your price for TikTok Shop, you can not have like the best results as you would have if you really align the pricing. So I see this a problem with most brands too. In Brazil, a lot of brands they wanted to jump so fast to TikTok Shop, but they didn't have the alignment before. So most of those brands sometimes they would sell a lot, but then they would be on the negative side because they couldn't see everything and understand about the actual platform. So it does matter, and you really need to see like which SKUs make sense for TikTok Shop, because sometimes you're gonna have over 20, 30 SKUs, but those doesn't make sense for TikTok Shop as of right now. You need to focus on 1 to 3 products and then bring those products to TikTok Shop and in a good pricing as well.
Yeah, agree. Okay, maybe you can go back one slide. So if people wanna have the QR code, they can use it. Also, if you wanna reach out to us, of course you have our LinkedIn, you have other places, so you can always reach out there. But I agree with the retail price. You want it to be in balance. It cannot be one is like way higher, way lower than the other one. Also, with your retail partners, you have your agreements and stuff. Elisa, what kind of content or incentives keep creators engaged in the community long term? I mean, a lot of creators want to also have some type of stability, right? So like retainers work, especially if you run it also like in-house or like have some longer term agreements with your creators. When you see a creator as a top creator for like 3 months in a row, it makes sense for you to build something a little bit longer term with them. Other incentives, I've seen things like, okay, just cool things. Okay, first creator that hits this amount of views on a video, this amount of sales on a new product gets bigger prices to get people to kind of race against a certain goal. That's another thing that we usually see working very well.
I think there's
Yeah.
like multiple ways of incentivizing those creators to keep them engaged in the community. This is very like nice question because I feel like most of the brands that has a community, what's the problem of them? It's like keeping them there. So the brands always need to be, like build incentives that actually make sense for the brands. We see a lot of brands doing like a bunch of incentives, challenges, but most of the brands they don't do something that actually is gonna bring a connection. Actually, is gonna show the creator that they matter for them. So a lot of things that we have seen too is like those creators that actually are top creators. Like Jasper said, they have retainers. Not only that, but then they can come to the third phase. That's the phase that I was showing to you guys on the YSL brand, because after they sell very well for your brand, they know how to do the videos, they always gonna look for something more. And the biggest way also is even partnering up with them. If it's a creator that has done like a lot of sales for you, it's always good to have incentives and ways of keeping those people inside of the brand itself. So there's a bunch of incentives and challenges and ways of doing that. It really depends on how the brands they want to go, like how further they want to go there, but and deeper. But there's always ways of keeping them there.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we've went through a lot. I hope the kind of the whole mindset and how we look at things makes sense for you guys. I think it's really just kind of reshifting your mindset a little bit on like, yeah, how to run things, how to think about things. Because I think for most brands, it's more of a mindset shift and a focus shift. And it's really like, okay, I really don't know what to do. Of course, it takes time. Of course, working with partners, you can fast track also your creator community and everything. But it's really like, okay, you have to have top of mind investment, resources, priority needs to be the creators, especially if you want to scale long term here. So yeah, I think that's kind of what we wanted to give you guys today. As we said, yeah, here we can connect. You can connect with our team as well, with us, to kind of see if that makes sense, something to do something for your brand too. You can always reach us out on LinkedIn or somewhere else if you have any questions or anything else. Like, we are in this space for a long time. We'd love to help you people as well. We'll do more of these webinars too. So there will be more things coming up. But for now, I want to thank all of you for coming out and being here for like almost an hour with us, which is amazing.
Yes, guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jasper, to have me here too. Very nice to kind of bring the knowledge that we have, everything that we're building outside of US and also inside of US. So, like Jasper said, we're here to help you guys and try to, give the most knowledge that we have here for you guys. So, if you guys still want to connect, we can connect on LinkedIn. We can connect through the team and see if we can do analysis for your brand and see how we can, get that out of the ground.
Yep, amazing. Thanks everyone. Have an amazing day. Good luck with everything, and we'll see each other more often.
All right, guys, take care.